An alpha is someone who is brave, someone who takes calculated risk, someone who doesn't care what other people think, someone who is a leader, someone who wants to be disruptive, and someone that moves with integrity. They're amazing leaders. They protect, they provide, they produce. It's nothing to do with control.
Saba Yussouf, a remarkable entrepreneur and an investor whose commitment to driving positive change is truly unparalleled. How do you manage to have a balance in your life?
You know, I got to be honest with you.
Welcome back, Alphas, to a new inspiring episodes of the Alpha Talks podcast. Today in the studio, I've got a very special Alpha for you today. Saba Yussouf, a remarkable entrepreneur and an investor whose commitment to driving positive change is truly unparalleled. Without further ado, let's welcome Saba to the Alpha Talks podcast. Welcome, Saba. Thank you
so
for
much.
being with us today.
Pleasure.
So before we start, I usually have a question. Let's say once we broadcast the episode, people will look at the thumbnail, they will see the title, and they will think it's interesting. What can we promise them today that they will gain if they gave us their time?
What you'll gain today is the concept of futurism. And I think it's a topic that people do not discuss enough because perhaps they're not even aware what it is.
True.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So stay tuned. So let's start off with, tell us, who's Saba in a nutshell?
Who am I?
Yeah, in a nutshell.
My name is Saba Yussouf.
Yeah.
I'm a futurist. I am British. I am Pakistani. I live in Dubai. And I have dedicated my life to breaking boundaries, challenging the norm, and disrupting businesses to make the future a better place
I love
after
that.
we leave it.
I love that. It's a very short one, but very strong and solid. Let's tell us a little bit about your upbringing in London. How, first of all, the upbringing itself, and how did it shape Saba now?
You know, I feel very lucky to be born and raised in London. I got access to the best education, so much culture, but I also saw a lot of hypocrisy. And that is a reason why I'm in the field that I'm in today, ironically. So, I mean, it's great for entrepreneurship. You get to see all the success, you get to see entrepreneurs thrive. And when you see something when you're growing up, it makes you think you can attain it too.
True.
Right? You don't think it's too far a reach.
It's like the circle where you're in affects you.
Yes, exactly. But I saw a lot of hypocrisy in the world of sustainability. Because I saw very successful companies pretending to be sustainable and greenwashing. And that's the bit I had a problem with. So London is great, but it's a double-edged sword for me.
Tell us a little bit about your childhood then.
Oh, how long have you got?
What are particular moments in your life that shaped you now?
You know, my childhood, I was very fortunate, but it was also a very tough childhood. Financially, we were safe, but emotionally, it was tough for me. So I had a very disciplined upbringing, which I have to thank my parents for. I had to work very, very hard, and I had a strict schedule. I had to be a straight A student, and my parents made me understand the concept of hard work. And I will thank them forever for that. But emotionally, it was very tough. My parents had quite a bad divorce when I was about 13, and it sort of made me an introvert.
Okay.
I sort of went inside myself, and I wasn't very social, and I relied on my alone time to get through life. I became quite reclusive when I was a kid. And because I was so obsessed with science is actually what got me through my parents' divorce. I bet you haven't heard that before.
Yeah. Tell me how.
So when I was stressed and I was upset or I was crying about my parents fighting, I would leave the house and I'd walk to the nearest library because you know the library is always quiet.
Yeah.
So when you have the option of a quiet library or listening to your parents fight, you choose a quiet place. I was a child. And I started reading up on books on how to overcome anxiety, stress, fear, how to deal with being a child of divorce. And I read a lot of science books, and it taught me how to rewire your neurons to overcome anxiety and fear.
Wow.
Because I had tried therapy. It didn't work
Didn't
on
work
me.
at all.
Maybe I had the wrong therapist. I would leave therapy feeling worse
No way.
than before.
So your time in library had a really positive effect on you.
Yes, because I was just studying science. I taught myself how to rewire my brain cells, which is your neurons.
True.
Because, you know, everything you do rewires your neurons. Not only meditation and listening to music, everything you do rewires your neurons. Give me your hand, I'll show you. just rewire your neurons.
Done.
Next time someone asks for your hand, you're going to think twice.
But it's true or not?
It's true. So when you have that knowledge, you really take care about all of your decisions because you understand that everything is conditioning you up here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how science helped me get through adversity when I was young.
I love that. Then let's move a little bit to Cass Business School.
Yeah.
How did it affect you as well? Because it's one of the respectful business schools.
Sure.
So how being in Cass helped you being Saba?
You know, I really enjoyed my degree subjects. So I studied, it was a joint honors, economics and accountancy. And I majored in advanced econometrics, which is the math of economics, because I love math.
Yeah.
I loved the degree. I learned a lot about economics. I learned about how to allocate scarce resources and decision-making and game theory. But I didn't learn anything about sustainability.
I love game theory in general. But
right?
True.
We'll do a separate podcast just on game theory. I didn't learn much about sustainability. Policy was not even on the agenda. I think maybe it hadn't even started. I graduated in 2009. I had to sort of teach myself and find out what was really going on. But as a university, the curriculum, I loved it.
And after university, you joined Ernst & Young.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Ernst & Young is a big corporation.
It is.
It is. How did it shape you as well?
Oh, so many ways.
Yeah.
No, I was only
How
there
long
for
did you
2
stay?
years.
2 years?
So I'll tell you, when I was 20, I did the undergrad internship. And then usually if you're good enough, they offer you a job. So I did the undergrad, I got the job, I was really happy. And I had to go through a lot when I was at Ernst & Young. I learned a lot about how to work in industry. I learned a lot about how to work with other people. I learned very good people skills, how to work under pressure. I was up at 5 every morning in the gym, and I had to be at my desk by 7:30. So there's a lot of discipline.
True.
At a young age, this is a good time to mold you. But I did have some encounters with some brief sexual discrimination in the workplace. And I think it was an important thing that I actually had to go through because it really opened my eyes. I was a bit naive before, you know.
And then what made you leave Ernst & Young?
So the plan was I was only ever going to stay there for a few years.
Okay.
And my dad wanted me to join his family business, which was property and real estate.
Okay.
And he doesn't have any sons. So the pressure was on me.
So you did?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I tried. I tried for a few months and I was so bad at it because I had zero interest.
It's not your passion. It's not
Zero
your life.
passion. And I said to my dad, if you force me to do this, I will make you bankrupt. It's so
Literally.
I said,
But
it's
you
so
tried.
bad. I tried. You always got to try in life.
And
Try
it
everything.
It didn't click with you.
No, and he could see it as well. I had zero motivation to do well in it. So as I'm always obsessed with science. So I moved into science and I started investing, allocating part of my family office into science investments. Well, I call it STEM, science, tech, engineering, and math.
But what attracted you to invest in science? And what are your principles for investing actually?
Oh, I keep my principles very, very simple, I would say. I call it KISS, keep it simple and sexy.
Yeah, true. Not straight. Okay.
But I have always had this weird curiosity about science since I remember.
Yeah.
So when you are so interested in something, if you're not doing that, you don't feel like yourself.
Sure.
You know, that's what happened when I went to work in property.
Yeah. And the same actually in Ernst & Young. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah. I was passionate about doing well, but it was almost like taking an exam. Okay, fulfill the assignment next.
Deadline done,
That's
get
all,
it done, and
it didn't
thank
mean
you.
anything to me. So my principles for investing are, is the founder authentic? I have to always meet the founder, not on Zoom, online. I have to look into their eyes. If the founder is authentic, there's a high chance that he or she will align with the business all the time, and he or she will be loyal to the business. That's something that I've learned. I have to sit with the founder. And also the technology or the formula that I'm investing in, it has to solve a pain point that I care about.
Okay.
And what I care about is different to what you care about. if it's not solving a pain point that I can relate to, I don't think I will do well in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
And the founding
my
team,
thought.
do you check the founding team? Do you
Of
want to
course, yeah.
assure
I
them?
mean, you do normal due diligence, you know, and they do normal due diligence on me.
True.
We clear up any questions, but you can see every business plan in the world or all the decks. It doesn't mean anything until you meet the founder.
As a female investor,
Yeah.
and especially in tech, which is dominated by male,
Sure.
how do you think being a female investor, and the important thing, is there any bottlenecks that you faced, any kind of discriminations?
Yeah.
And what are your advice to female investors that want to enter the tech industry?
Yeah, you know, it's so nice. Every day I see more females entering the world of STEM, whether they're investing or trying to do research, and I love seeing it. But what I would encourage women to do is to speak about it more. I'm speaking about it on podcasts. I do public speaking. That will inspire the next woman to go for it. If she also speaks up about it, maybe on her social media, that will inspire the next woman. It's a pay it forward kind of system.
True.
This is how we will get more women and men in STEM.
Since you talked about inspiration, I'll go back. You know, I like to go back and forth. Who inspired you at your early time?
Okay, but first of all, businessmen and women are not inspirational to me. Famous people are not inspirational to me. I couldn't care less. Scientists are very inspirational to me, but I do have one idol. You're going to laugh. It's David Bowie.
Oh. Okay, can you explain why?
Obsessed with him. He wasn't even in my era, but besides his cool songs and cool fashion, he was always a futurist. He was always disrupting the world's vision, and he was trying to make us see what the world really is. And he was just way ahead of everyone else at that time, I felt. And growing up, I always felt a bit different. And I didn't understand myself. I didn't have anyone to talk to. And just listening to his quotes made me feel really safe.
And inspired you.
Yeah, it really, really helped me get through life.
A quick note, I find this incredibly intriguing. On the back end of our YouTube channel, it says around 75% of you who watch this channel frequently over the lifetime of this channel haven't yet hit the subscribe button. I just wanted to ask you for a favor. It helps this channel so much if you choose to just subscribe. It helps us invite guests that give you great value. It helps us scale the production, and as well makes this show bigger and bigger for you. And if you enjoyed the previous episodes and you're currently enjoying this episode, could you please hit the subscribe button? I love your support. It's incredible to see all your comments and engagement, and we are just starting. Thank you so much, and I will repay this gesture by making sure that everything we do on this show makes it bigger, bigger, and better. I'm committed to do this promise. Do we have a deal? Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to me.
Okay. If we're talking about investments, what keeps you motivated to go and invest in tech?
What keeps me motivated? It really is.
We talked about the podcast when we started, that your hand is full in general. So you can't take any more projects.
No,
Am I correct?
I'm actually at full capacity until 2025.
Oh my God. Okay, what will motivate you to take something on more?
When I look at the future impact, and I don't mean in 10 years' time, I mean in thousands of years' time. You see, as a futurist, we don't look at the big picture. We look at the biggest picture possible.
Okay.
So the decision you make today is going to impact people in thousands of years. So when I'm looking at an investment opportunity, I have to think, is this going to help people in the long term? I'm a long-termist. I don't believe in short-term gain. I believe in short-term sacrifice for long-term gain.
That's very interesting, because my question will be, how do you balance between the profit and your vision? Because running a business at the end of the day is you're running it for
Look, we're not running a charity here. We have to make money so that I can invest in the next thing.
So how do you balance it with having an impact?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, because sustainable tech and green tech, usually the ROI takes longer.
True,
It's
much longer.
It's not a one-hit wonder. You know, a lot of people, they come to me and they ask me, oh, Sabs, what should I start? What should I do to make money? What should I start? What's making money right now? And I tell them, you're asking me the wrong question. Think of a formula. 1 + 1 = 2. Say 2 is money. If if you try to get to two, how do I get two all the time, you won't get it.
Yeah.
If you look at solving 1 + 1, you will get
to two.
Just look at what you're doing. What pain point are you solving? And it will definitely make money. So money is never my priority. It's always the formula. How am I going to get there? What am I doing? Am I being true to myself? What pain point am I fixing?
I love that. Why you chose tech? Just like out of the why tech?
Yeah, so I originally chose science.
Yeah.
And then I understood that science is very connected to tech. So I had to teach myself about tech because I knew nothing. I still don't know too much. But I'm educating myself. At the end of the day, education is free. So you have to keep absorbing it, learn as much as you can. And when you can merge tech with science, it's even stronger.
Wow.
Basically. But it was never my initial wish. I always actually wanted to stay away from it and focus on pure science. But now everything is mixing with everything. So you have to kind of know more.
And what about AI? Now, when you mix tech, AI, and science. Are you looking at something like that now or not?
That is such a good question. Thank you for asking that. You know, I battle with people every day about AI. I speak to my trolls on Instagram about AI because, you know, it's all connected, right? Science, tech, and AI is all connected. And people, they write to me on Instagram and they say, you know, the world is going to end because of AI. AI is going to take over and kill us all. Okay, let me think about it from a futurist's point of view. AI could wipe out humanity, or AI might be able to coexist with humanity. I'll give you an example. We have the ability to wipe out chimpanzees tomorrow. We could as humans. But we don't, because we're not motivated to wipe out chimpanzees. So the only reason AI would wipe us out as humans is if they need to, if they're motivated to, if AI develops with bad intention.
Yeah.
Okay. Second thing, if you look at history, like I told you, futurists, we look at the biggest picture possible. Go back into history. Civilizations die out and they're taken over by more intelligent civilizations. Eventually, we are going to die out as humans. It will happen. And someone's going to be next. So if it's AI, then good luck to them. I mean, you can't fight history. This is survival of the fittest. If they're fitter,
Pick your war.
If AI is fitter, then they should overtake us. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm not asking to die tomorrow. I'm just saying this is a reality.
True.
So why are we scared of AI when it actually could be the best thing that ever happened to us? If today we take the decision of having good intention with AI, if we can all collectively do that, the future will be great. And that is futurism in a nutshell.
True.
Trying to make the best decision today so that in a million years, we're good.
True. Do you use AI now?
Every day of my life.
Every day.
I don't know how I didn't survive before.
But AI from a perspective of what? Like, for example, ChatGPT or like more sophisticated ones?
Everything. So we use it in our business to kind of save money on our operations and on all that. And we have all these plugins and cool things. And then I used ChatGPT the other day to compose a message to my best friend. I was struggling to find the words. I was having a bimbo moment. So I just prompted AI correctly, and it gave me a lovely, heartfelt message that I then forwarded. I just copy and pasted. Even in business, light, frivolous things like decks. My team uses AI. Content creation, we use AI. I really see AI as a positive thing. And I think if we just look into history, we'll be able to not fear it so much, because it really doesn't have to be that bad.
It's extremely helpful.
I agree.
A couple of days back, I had an interview with a recruiter, I would say. Even recruiting now, they're having AI to help in recruiting.
I'm sure.
So you just plug the job role.
Nice.
And in a second, it gives you candidates. And in seconds, it can put these candidates into screening, tests, grade them for you. And voila, here you go. So it's really helpful in different areas, though. Let's see how it will go.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm fighting every day to make AI positive.
We don't want to be left.
Not negative.
True, but you don't. So some people are fighting it and not leveraging it. To,
Oh no. I fully endorse it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with every innovation, there's going to be a few bad guys in the mix.
We have to control it in a way. Let's talk a little bit about some things as entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Your day is full.
Yeah.
How do you manage, I would say, like healthy, I don't want to say work-life balance, but to have a balance in your life? Strategies that you use.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I've never had a work-life balance.
True. 100%.
I can't lie. What I do is every year, I prioritize something. So that makes me feel a little better and balanced. Okay. I just think this year, this is my priority. This year, this is my priority. Because if you can rate things in order of priority, it actually helps you find some sort of balance. But what I have learned is that it's never equal. I don't think I can live that equal life that people talk about. Please teach me how. Doesn't exist.
And I believe it doesn't exist. And I believe sometimes we can call it work-life integration rather than a balance. It's impossible. Did you have a setback or a failure that taught you a big lesson?
I have so many.
Share with us.
Taught me a lesson. I think there is a lesson in every failure. I'm quite proud of my failures. It means I tried. There was one where I went against my gut and I went against my moral compass. And I invested with a guy who was very obviously a bad guy. But I was greedy. Because the deal was really good. And I knew I shouldn't have gone into business with him. And I regretted it after I paid for it, after I lost money. And since then, I catch myself. If I ever feel that way again, I catch myself.
So you go with your guts.
And I remind myself, always go with my gut. So in my career, I always go with my gut. In my personal life, I never go with my gut.
Rational now. The rational brain will work. But it's absolutely true. A lot of success figures, like even the Amazon guy, Jeff Bezos, when he started Amazon, it was totally on guts. The guy was working in Wall Street and it has just, I feel I want to open a bookstore. And he went with his guts. And now it's Amazon. How do you deal with failures?
You know what I do? I talk to my mentors because I can't talk to my family members because I feel they don't understand and they're almost too close to me. So I talk to my mentors. Whenever I'm feeling down, defeated, weak, I pick up the phone to whoever mentor has time for me that day and they remind me, I'm Saba Yussouf, shake it off and start again tomorrow.
How many mentors do you have?
I have 3.
3 mentors. In different...
All different fields. One is a South Korean. One is Marilyn Crawford. She's in New York. She's probably the one I speak to the most. She is in celebrity and marketing and branding. I mean, I have so many different...
Very nice. You believe in personal development because if you have mentors and... Can you tell us from your perspective, what does personal development means? Because, you know, there are a couple of words that now we see in the world. It's like entrepreneurship, personal development. From your perspective, what personal development means?
You know, before that, I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship because I hate that word so much. I hate it when people call me entrepreneur because entrepreneur means when you really risk it all. And you don't sleep to deliver your passion and what you told yourself you were going to do. These days, people open a crypto wallet and they call themselves an entrepreneur.
Correct.
Let's go back to the real definition.
Correct.
And as for personal development, I think it's this desire you have to always download the best version of yourself. If you move with integrity, you're always going to win. So if you're trying to always be the best you can be, you will win. You will be okay. You will find happiness. You will be fulfilled. If you're not interested in personal development, don't be interested in any kind of development.
True.
Because it's not going to happen.
Do you have any, for example, let's talk about you. For a personal development perspective, do you make it a necessity or a must to learn something every day or not?
No.
No.
You know what I do make a necessity? I read every day. It's my therapy, it's my learning. Even if it's just 10 minutes, I read a few pages of my book every single day. You know what it does? It almost resets me. I escape for 10 minutes into another land. And it then, when I come back to it, I close the book, I go to sleep, whatever, I've come back to this world with a different perspective because I got to escape for 10 minutes.
True.
It's excellent therapy for me.
Reading.
And it keeps my English good.
Yeah, it's super. It's super. So let's talk a little bit about how do you manage to be as successful in any kind of project that you run? You need to stay focused.
Yeah.
And we live in a life or an era that distraction is everywhere.
Oh gosh.
How do you manage to stay focused?
For me, it's going to the gym. But it's not for the reason you might think. I don't often put on weight or anything like that. Thank you, God. It's for my mind.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm feeling a bit off, physically, emotionally, not focused, I just hit the gym. That's
Actually,
my
I have
answer
the
to everything.
The same feeling. So,
Yeah.
but how do you say no to things? I
have no issue with that. Oh my God. You know, some people have FOMO.
Yeah.
I have JOMO, joy of missing out. I have no
I love this.
issue with that.
Can you repeat it again? Because can you? Yeah.
So some people have FOMO.
Yeah.
I have JOMO, joy of missing out.
Really?
Yeah. Because, you know, I told you from when I was a kid, I was a bit of an introvert.
Yeah.
So for me, I love one-on-one. I love one-on-two. Big groups, not interested. So if there is a social event or even a networking event or a plan that pops up, I'm just not interested. If I can just every day stick to my focus in life, I am the most happy. So, you know, some people are social butterflies.
Yeah, true.
And they thrive off it. They actually get energy from crowds. I don't. I get energy from being alone. So when you have a lot of alone time, you have a lot of time to align with your goals.
But that doesn't make you feel that you're losing opportunities?
Never.
Never.
Never. You know, a lot of people insist that networking is key. And I'm not saying that it's useless. Nothing beats hard work. That's all I'm
100%.
saying.
But
That's
nobody
what I'm
grows
saying.
alone.
No.
Being in
I
the
agree.
right circle, being in the...
Being in the right circle. What
Because,
do
you know,
you mean by that?
Because, you know, a lot of people say, and I'm a strong believer in this as well, your net worth is your network. So being in the right, with the right people, the right network helps you achieve your goals. I'm not saying it's faster.
100%. But I'll tell you something. If you really are in the right group,
You don't need to jump in.
your friends, your colleagues, they won't mind if you can't make it. And when you need them, they will be there for you.
True.
And you'll be there for them too. So you don't need to be frivolous and say yes to everything and feel this pressure. I'm so solid in my network. And my network is not very big. It's small, but it's quality.
Yeah, true.
And maybe that comes with time. In my 20s, I was jumping countries just to attend the next party and whatever. And I thought it's what I wanted. Then once you've done it all, you realize...
Let me focus.
You realize that it doesn't give you what you want.
True quality. Let's talk about entrepreneurship a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think makes Saba a successful entrepreneur? Kind of qualities, kind of skills?
I think it's one. I always try to be authentic. And it's really hard.
True.
Especially when you're young. Being authentic as an entrepreneur, it allows you to drop your ego. If you're running a business and you don't have an ego, you don't take things personally. You can respond well to feedback or criticism. You respond well to failures. You move with integrity. You don't move with emotion. So when you try to be authentic, everything falls into place because you have the right intention moving forward.
True.
That is, for me, that is the secret to the little success I've had in life. Is authenticity. That is, in my opinion, the most valuable currency an entrepreneur can have. Because you escape so many pitfalls if you remain an authentic person.
I love, and it's hard actually.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's terribly hard.
Yeah.
True. If people now just graduated
Yep.
and came and ask you,
Yep.
should I be an entrepreneur or
Yeah.
not? Should I start working in a company and
Yeah.
then being an entrepreneur? Your view on this, what?
You know, when I graduated, I didn't have the option to start a business immediately. I also probably didn't know how. Social media wasn't big then, many, many years ago.
Yeah.
But now I would say go straight to a business. I don't think you need that corporate experience. I tell you why. Everything is now online. If you're willing to learn and put the time in, you can learn everything I learned and as young on YouTube probably. And I think anyone can be an entrepreneur. Anyone can be an entrepreneur. If you can manage to be authentic, you'll realize that, okay, if you're not an alpha personality, you won't have an ego problem if you have to hire a CEO. You won't mind. Because if you're not a leader, you shouldn't be a CEO.
Find a leader.
But some people, they have so much ego that they say, no, I must be the CEO of a company. And then the company fails. I've seen it so many times. So whatever your personality is, you can definitely be an entrepreneur, but you just need one thing. You need to be brave.
True. Courage.
You need to be hella brave.
True.
Because you go to hell and back many times being an entrepreneur. It doesn't mean if you have a lot of startup capital, if you have a great idea, it doesn't matter. You still need to be very brave.
True. You know, I have an analogy of being an entrepreneur. It's like you jumping off a cliff. And on your way down, either you assemble the plane or the parachute, or you hit the ground. So you need to have very thick skin to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. I told someone the other day, someone asked me, what has it been like being an entrepreneur? And I said, it's like being in a really bad car crash, but you didn't die.
Yes, exactly. You're just coming out of it like, I'm still alive, surviving through.
Yeah.
What will be the top 3 skills a person who wants to be entrepreneur should gain right away?
Yeah,
top 3 skills.
I think critical thinking, which again, you can learn online. There are so many tutorials. There are so many tests. Financial literacy.
Oof, correct.
Even if you have the best accountant, the best CFO, if you're sitting in a meeting and you can't understand how to read that balance sheet, you're weak.
True.
And you will not be able to lead your team. Another thing, the last thing is leadership. Because a lot of people confuse entrepreneurship with management.
Yeah.
It's not. You hire the manager. You have to lead the manager. And that sounds all great and whatever, but it's the hardest job. Because the role of a manager is that when your team succeeds, you have to give them the win.
True.
When your team fails, you have to take the fail.
The spotlight on the team when you win.
Yeah.
True, true.
Yeah.
How did you manage moving from corporate to being an entrepreneur and getting the idea of I will delegate and I will lead? Because while you're in corporate, you do almost everything your own.
True.
Then becoming an entrepreneur, you need to develop a team that they can lead themselves. You lead them and they lead themselves as well. So you need to delegate.
So
how do you manage delegation?
That's so
it's
true.
a hard thing.
When I was in corporate, you're right, I had to take care of everything because I couldn't even rely on anyone else to do my job or bits.
And you wanted, to be honest, in corporate, you wanted to shine. So you had
want the stardom, you want the pat on the back.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. It's always a competition, isn't it? So when I left, I realized what entrepreneurship really is. And then I realized that I can't do a lot of it. So I was happy to outsource because I was quite honest with myself. I think being able to not take yourself too seriously in life helps you become an entrepreneur because you don't have an issue with outsourcing. So if I were in business with you, I might ask you, please, look, I don't know how to do this. Could you handle this or could you teach me this? Your business will be so much stronger.
True.
So if you don't take yourself too seriously, you're able to do this. And I really don't take myself seriously. Like when I have trolls on Instagram, for example, telling me that I'm so bad at business, I don't know how to run a business, I help my trolls troll me.
True.
I'm like, yeah, babe, you're right.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Absolutely. You know, I have a couple of businesses that actually I don't know what's happening in them because my partner, we agreed, you will handle this, I will handle this, you will handle this and that. So that's part of also a delegation. Let's say, for example, now a person comes to you and tell you, I'm afraid. I'm in corporate life. Have my corporate career and I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to build my business. I'm a woman and I want to build my business. But I'm afraid. I have fear that I will fail. I have fear I won't make it. What will you tell them?
What I would
fear
say
is everything that stops people. So
you know, fear is one of the most dangerous emotions because it can run your life. It can take over your life. What I would say is, I know a lot of people in that position, in this hypothetical position. And they usually attend my events when I'm public speaking. And they catch me after and they ask me the same thing. They say, I'm scared. And I ask them, what are you scared of? Are you scared of losing your salary? They said, no, I've saved up. I have a runway of 6 months. I said, okay. So are you are you fearing that the product or service is bad? They said, no, I think it's amazing. I believe in it. I'm thinking, okay, what are you really afraid of? And usually what transpires is that they are afraid of what people think if they're not a multi-million-dollar business in 1 year.
True. People's opinion.
Yes. And people have to let go of what other people think. It's held me back in my 20s. It's holding back young, very intelligent people. Forget the rest. Just continue marching to your drum.
True.
And your critics will become your fans. I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But
True.
it's so
At the
easy
end,
to say, isn't it?
It's we're humans. We have emotions at the end. True.
But you know, the day I stopped caring what people think, my life became amazing.
Much better.
I felt I was released from prison.
You know, I have a story that I tell people when they ask me this question. I say, like, let's say I die tomorrow. 10 people will come to my funeral, right? 10 people, let's say 10 people will come to my funeral. And then if the weather is bad, this 10 becomes 5. So why the hell should I care too much about people? Because they won't even cry on my funeral. So people's opinion is, yes, there are some people that we trust, we take their opinion.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, not anybody that's around us, we should give way to what they say.
No, of course. The people that I love and I'm very close to, my friends and family, of course I care what they think. I don't want to hurt them.
But it also, they have, you know, their own perspective.
Always. Always.
So we listen to them, okay, we make rationale out of it, but not putting a lot of weight because nobody has your vision, nobody has my vision.
Nobody knows the context of what you are doing in life and why you're doing it.
True.
Because it's only your business.
100%.
It's none of my business.
True.
I don't get to question it. And if anyone, and my family members say they come at me with their opinions, I just say, noted.
True.
I say, thank you, noted. And I move on.
Yeah, and thank you very much. You know, I'm looking at the paper because like I completely went off the questions, but it's fine. Let's talk a little bit about your project Fix It or Ficks, right?
Ficks.
Let's talk about Ficks. You're doing it with Sarah. Am I correct?
Yes. So Sarah Amadani, she's my best friend and my business wife.
Yeah.
So we have been
I love how you say
working
it, like
on
my best friend and business wife. Yeah.
And we've been working on Ficks for about 3 years now.
Wow.
So it's Ficks. It is a health and wellness company. We have a major celebrity on board, which we can release very soon, I hope. It is a health and wellness company that uses deep disruptive science and transfers that into everyday relatable products.
Wow.
Because in my background is science, right? But I've only ever worked in the B2B space. So you would have never heard of anything that I've done because it goes to big oil, big pharma, someone biotech company who vertically integrates it. You would have no idea. So why can't all this amazing science be delivered to you? Why can't you benefit from it? So it's a line, a product range of very disruptive, cool things that are fixing different pain points. So we have Fix Your Sleep, Fix Your Anxiety, Fix Your Bones, Fix Your Digestion. And it's all cutting edge science.
But a question, these are tablets or...
I can't tell you yet. All I can say is they're not
when
going
is going to be launched?
A few months, I hope. All I can say is it's not going to be boring tablets and gummies.
I like that.
None of that.
And I like the name actually.
Thank you.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
Let's say, I want to like another question out of nowhere, but what kind of hidden talent do you have or a skill that nobody knows?
That nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Something exclusive for the Alpha Talks.
Knows. I can change a car tire.
No way.
In 60 seconds.
No, really or not?
My dad taught me when I was like 10 years old because I was the son he never had. So he taught me all these DIY things and I used it. I was in Heathrow Airport. I was dropping someone to the airport and I got a flat tire and he had to make his flight. So I got out on the sideway and what's it called? The jack? I put it up. It was a big Range Rover.
No
took the tire out, rolled it away.
It's really heavy, by the way.
One from the boot, put it on, and then I screwed all ones 90% because you can't do 100%. Then you wait, then you put it to 100%. I can change a tire.
That's exclusive.
If you're ever stuck, tell me. I'll do it for free.
That's interesting. But it's really, you can take off a tire. Wow. That's an alpha. Okay, define what's an alpha for you.
For me, an alpha is someone who is brave, someone who takes calculated risk, someone who doesn't care what other people think, someone who is a leader, someone who wants to be disruptive, and someone that moves with integrity. And I don't think alphas should be confused with the loudest in the room, boisterous people, people who shout, people who are controlling. No, that is not an alpha.
Correct.
And if you look at alpha females are amazing nurturers. They're amazing leaders. They are also very kind. If you look at alpha men, they protect, they provide, they produce. It's nothing to do with control.
True. You said something very nice before we start shooting recording. You said like we can have different alphas or several alphas sitting at the same, I would say, table, same room.
Of course.
That's
you know
correct.
why? A real alpha is not threatened by another alpha.
True.
They complement each other.
Exactly. True.
If you have ego problems and insecurities, you're not an alpha, babe.
True.
Yeah.
Correct. Let's go back to females.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurship. How do you see female entrepreneurs in the Middle East?
When I moved here, I was so pleasantly surprised by the respect, the honor that female entrepreneurs have here. And there are so many panels. There are so many events to help guide female entrepreneurs. I was shocked. Actually, my experience in the UAE and the GCC has been the best in the world. They really give a lot of importance to the nurturing and education of women in business.
Wow.
And I love that. And I think other countries should, in fact, take note. I was invited to the first FII in Saudi many, many years ago, whenever it was. And I was nervous to go because it was my first time traveling to Saudi alone, without a man or anything. And, you know, I was a bit scared. I got there. I was greeted so well at the airport. They took care of me. I attended all the panel discussions. I even led my own talk there. We had dinners. We had all the hospitality. I felt so respected. I felt so included. It broke all the nonsense that you might think and hear from other people. I was very impressed.
Wow, from a person living or getting coming from UK.
I feel more discrimination there.
No way.
Than I do here.
Wow.
Yes, and I have more respect and importance here. Yeah, wow. I'm extremely impressed with how the Middle East supports female entrepreneurs. I love it.
We talked before the episode about what made you come to Dubai. Can you share it with us here again?
I was born and raised in London. And I've been coming to...
I believe everybody's talking about the American dream.
Who talks about the American dream?
There is a Dubai dream, actually.
Anyone mentioned the American dream in a very long time. So I was born and raised in London, and I was educated there. My family are there. And we had been coming to Dubai for about 15 years anyway. Holiday, chill, whatever. And I was sitting with my dad, and he said, "Why do we live here?" I said, "What do you mean? We're from here." He said, "You pay 50% tax. You pay for private medical, private dental, road tax. Then you get mugged on the street.
True.
You're fearing for your life. Why would any normal, logical person invest in this country when it's not investing in you?" And I didn't have a reply for him. 6 weeks later, we packed our bags and we moved.
No way.
Yeah. Because if you're a risk taker, okay, have you heard anyone that's moved to Dubai and regretted it?
No.
Unless you make foolish moves.
True.
Then you'll burn yourself anyway. But it is a hub of amazing entrepreneurship, amazing minds, because now you have people from Europe, Canada, Australia, everyone is coming here. The mental strength and the equity of this country has skyrocketed.
True.
You know, before, okay, maybe 10, 15 years ago,
it was different.
It was different. I struggle sometimes to have intellectual conversation with people. And now no one cares about what watch you're wearing at the table. Now people care about what's in here.
Yeah, true.
And I love that about Dubai. And I feel safe.
We're like almost like a year almost in Dubai. So it's where we share the same lovely experience.
Yeah.
I believe in having habits and routines in your life. It will contribute to your success.
True.
So if it's true, what habits and routine do you have?
Oh, I have a few, because routine has actually saved me. Routine has saved my business probably many times. besides going to the gym, I do a lot of self-care. Self-care for me is a big reason for my success. Because some people think self-care is shallow. To me, it's respecting myself. So there are days when you don't feel like getting out of bed, or you've had a really bad week and you feel demotivated. When I practice self-care, which could be going to the gym, sorting out your skin, or dressing well. Yeah, it's about even dressing well. You know, not staying in your pajamas. Dress up for yourself. I remember that I respect myself. I remember my duty, and I start respecting everything I'm doing and my responsibilities, and I have this click moment. I think I'm back.
Yeah. So you do this regularly?
Yes. I mean, anyone that knows me knows I'm always at the spa, at the clinic, or the salon. Everyone makes fun of me, but it makes me so happy. It makes me feel so good, so that when I go into a meeting, I am 10 times happier for you.
You're fresh, sharp,
my brain's
happier,
better. I'm smiling. I will do so much better for you.
True.
Yeah.
What kind of message would you like to leave our audience with today? A message.
I think I've got to go back to the fear. I know a lot of people are struggling with what people think in business right now. And I've just got to tell you, forget what anyone thinks of you. If you have critics, you're probably doing something right. You're probably breaking boundaries, and you're changing the world, and you're changing the business, the industry that you're in. So if you have critics, keep going. Just close off your ears, and one day those critics, I guarantee you, will become your fans.
100%. We'll cheer for you.
We've both gone through it, I'm sure.
Cheer for you. Even from the close people, actually.
Yeah.
Who used to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't get me started on that. Yeah, we need another hour.
Yeah, true. We have a tradition in our show, which is called the Alpha Talks Memoir.
Oh.
So the Alpha Talks Memoir, in a very simple way, it is every alpha guest has to do three things. The first thing, you have to write your experience about the Alpha Talks podcast, your experience. The second is to write a question for the next alpha guest.
Oh, nice.
Any question. They will not know who wrote it, but it's a way of, you understand, connecting alpha guests together.
Nice.
The third is, who do you recommend as our next alpha guest that will really inspire and add value to our audience?
Okay, brilliant.
So before moving to this, I have to ask you the question, of course.
Okay.
So the question says, we were sent here to make a difference. Yes. How will you be remembered?
I will be remembered as the Pakistani-British woman who did whatever it takes to contribute to evolution.
Wow. Strong words, solid word.
You are.
Love that. Love that. Saba, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure that our audience will appreciate it and love the value that you give to them today.
I can't wait to watch it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That wraps another inspiring episode of today's show. I hope that this episode has ignited your inner alpha and left you feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to conquer any challenge that comes your way. Remember, alphas aren't born. They're made. It isn't about dominating others. It's about embracing your authenticity, leading with integrity, and making a positive impact on the world. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the Alpha Talks on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review and share the podcast with your fellow alphas. Also connect with us on social media at SEIF Al-Hakim. Share your thoughts, insight, and stories of personal and business growth with us. Let's create a movement of alphas supporting one another. The world needs more alphas like you exactly. Until next time, stay bold, stay driven, and stay alpha.